Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account. We're doing the Q&A now. There has been an incredible amount of questions that I've been getting over on YouTube, over on Discord, even on Reddit about a lot of the new heroes, about Leica. Who should I build, when, where, how? So I wanted to go through there. We're going to go easily in here. I want to go through the Misty Valley. We've been making some more tower progression. We have also been pushing the campaign. As you can see, guys, we're already into 52, starting to make a little bit more progression in here. Temporal Rift, we pushed as far as we could. I believe we're at 280 right now. I believe we have a couple more days. Yep, 280 right now. We still have 5 more days to make some more progression in the Rift. Now, overall, guys, the Temporal Rift is just going to take a little bit of time. Again, I had a couple questions about this. You still have 40 days left to go through here. So they do make it incredibly easy. Even on the free-to-play account, I was able to come through the Temporal Rift. Really didn't turn out to be too difficult to get through there. If you're a player that has been playing for a little bit of time, Temporal Rift, not super hard. So Trisha is here, guys. Baker D, Lucifer, Withered Milk. Brian is here. Dark Blaine, Pete Miller. What is going on? Robert, Michael, and Blue Crimson. Thank you guys for joining me. And Major is here as well. Like I said, guys, we're going to have this all about the Q&A. Had a lot of questions from a lot of different people. So if you do have questions, guys, throw them up in the chat. I'm going to go through the Voyage of Wonder within the Misty Valley. Now, this, of course, is one of the absolute best places within AFK Arena, guys, to get loot. You do have to push to chapter 41, as you can see right here, to unlock all of the loot, but you absolutely want to be doing this game mode, guys. Not only the stones that you're getting, the Poke coins, all of the resources, but then, of course, the final chest, super, super easy to get in there. Leica out soon, can't wait. Yes, AFK Arena free to play, you are spot on. So a lot of players had questions about Leica. That's, I guess, where we can start. So with Leica coming out on Tuesday, we know Leica is going to be here in just a couple minutes over on the test server. And I'm going to do a video a little bit about this later tonight. A lot of players were wondering, where is Leica at? Where is Leica being used? Overall, we're seeing Leica because of the energy she brings, because of the attack right off the bat. Leica is actually being used everywhere. She has worked herself, and again, over on the test server, it is a little different. It's not really indicative of what's going to go on in the global. Usually what we see historically is when we have a hero that performs well on the test server, then when we bring the hero over to global, so when there's actually a global release, we usually see that hero used significantly more because now it is out to everybody and is available to everybody. That is normally what we see, where if we're seeing Leica in a couple formations over on the test server, the global release means she's going to be used even more, which, looking at the skills, the abilities, the SP effect, I don't see anywhere that Leica is not going to fit in. I know even though she is a ranger hero, she's going to fit in for pretty much any formations that we've seen, just because of what she brings. So we've seen this similar to a lot of the Awakened Heroes, guys, where they bring a really, really big support piece to their kit. So if she was just straight up damage, let's say like a hero like Orin, where he is just significantly based on a lot of damage, doesn't bring a lot to the team, but that is not the case. Like I was saying, the Awakened version of Leica brings a lot to teams, and that is the reason why, again, similar to the new Celestials and Hypogeans that we got, similar to Ivan, similar to, Naruko, similar to a lot of heroes that we're seeing nowadays, they're having an incredible amount of utility, and they're having an incredible amount of utility across a ton of different game modes, which again is the huge reason and the huge driving force why we're seeing so many of these heroes. In addition, most of the heroes, guys, are requiring a much higher build. Again, that is really one of the other big questions that I get is all of the new heroes. So even looking at the regular 4 factions. So when you think of Naruko, when you think of Gineas, when you think of Tricia, when you think of Ivan, and then of course Liberta and Lucilla, all of them are requiring a pretty decent build, guys. I know it is insane the amount of resources that a lot of these game modes are taking, but they are requiring a significant build to perform really to a high level, which is what they've been doing. Now, you can run them kind of at a lower level. You're not going to see the effectiveness, even with Naruko and with Ivan. If you do not have that plus 30 engraving, they lose the crowd control aspect for both of them, which is pretty big. It is pretty big in multiple game modes. Again, you're going to be missing part of, again, the toolkit that they have. And look at that, guys, the big Shaq Daddy. I love Shaq. I've always been a fan of Lakers. Big Shaq Daddy, thank you for subbing to the channel. As you can see, we got the new picture of Leica up there. I love it. My daughter actually seen it and she said that looks awesome. Absolutely love it. I did the little glow, the little blue glow behind there. Why is Ainz falling so much? So again, we'll go through and we'll answer some of these questions. When you have Awakened Leica, can you please add the last 2 stars for the Queen? What do you mean? Can you please add the last 2 stars for the Queen? Not sure what you mean, Major. Let me know. First time in the live stream. Oh, thank you, Ask. Yeah, definitely. Or Eek. I think it's Eek in Baker D. 2nd subscriber, guys. We are almost to 35,000 subscribers, which is just absolutely bonkers, guys, that we've built AFK Arena. And again, 35,000 subscribers going through here. It's awesome to see. It is really, really more than I ever thought it would be. So Ainz is slowly being taken over, Geo, by the power creep. So what happens with games, any really mobile games, anything like this, AFK Arena, the new heroes that come out are much stronger and have a much stronger power creep when without any tank or warrior. So what happens is the damage and the power that Ainz puts out just slowly fades away. And literally that's exactly what kind of happens is when you have Ainz was super impressive, was definitely the strongest hero in AFK Arena. Then Scarlet came out. Scarlet kind of replaced Ainz as far as the damage. Then we've seen the Awakened version of Belinda come out. Then we've seen Ainz fall down a little bit more in the mage role. And now it's to the point where a lot of players are not getting Ainz. I mean, Ainz is going on 2+ years old at this point, Geo. The newer heroes have a lot more strength. And again, when you look at the Nightmare Corridor, when you look at a lot of different game modes, you're finding that to ring very, very true when it comes to the strength of the newer heroes because of the power creep. And also that's the reason why when you look at Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, even the Treasure Scramble, that is why you're seeing so many new heroes in there is the power creep with these heroes, guys. It's the reason why Liberta's damage is through the roof, is because he is a relatively new hero to AFK Arena, and the new heroes are always stronger than the older heroes. Even when you look fundamentally at the older heroes, almost every single one of them are phased out. Even in tower formations, most of the older heroes in AFK Arena at this point have been kind of phased out for the most part. Again, so looking here, the Maulers, when you start looking at a faction, when you look towards the bottom, again, most of the older heroes, even looking probably at these last 3 rows, probably minus Guineas, possibly Rain, but Rain has been kind of phased out a little bit with Ivan. But you can see all of the heroes down here are pretty much not used. Even going to Gwen, going to Hendrik, Astrilda. Again, we've had a lot more buffers that are much stronger than Astrilda, not a lot of use. Even Sonya not being used. And that's what we're going to continue to see, because again, that is kind of the progression of AFK Arena, where the older heroes, even the older Awakened heroes, are doing the same. They're starting to get phased out just because of that power creep feature that we have going on. Will AFK Arena buff all rewards across all game modes because it's becoming so difficult to upgrade these heroes? Streepo, they kind of have. And again, this is the way. So if you've been playing AFK Arena for a little bit of time, we probably have, I mean, theoretically, honestly, we probably get about, I would say probably 10, 15, 20 times the loot that we used to get in AFK Arena. Because you have to think, when you look at game modes, guys, there were so many game modes that were non-existent that provide loot to a lot of different heroes, a lot of different players, and a lot of different variations. Now, this one I have to find Kaz. And we have to find Ivan in here. When you look at the Voyage of Wonder used to not be there. And that's kind of, Voyage of Wonder wasn't there. The Peaks of Time weren't there. The mini games were not there. Even the faction towers weren't there at one point. Or I don't think they were. I actually don't think they were. But again, now this game is so full of events. That is really one of the big things. Streepo is, this mode wasn't here. heck, where you're getting thousands of poke coins and an absolute crazy amount of resources out of this game mode. This game mode wasn't even in AFK Arena either. There are so many different ways, so many events, and literally they stack events on events on events. It used to be, I mean, it used to be to a point where we would see events usually every week or two. The events were not on repeat. The events were not kind of over and over and over like we see them as of today. It's interesting to see, again, how they've kind of built the game and how it's gotten to the point with the crazy amount of resources that we get out of so many different game modes. It is kind of crazy to see. I have Solus, Brutus, and Belinda. Should I go for Leica or Awakened Athalia for DPS? Pete, honestly, I would probably wait. Hold off on the cards for probably about the next 7 to 10 days. And I know this is going to be a little bit of RNG. We could do Athalia, we could do a couple ones, but I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I would wait. The Awakened version of Athalia, of course, is a little bit older of a hero at this point. Might not see an incredible amount of utility out of it. Leica, we have to see exactly where she falls in for DPS. Currently on the test server, we are seeing Leica just doing an incredible amount of damage, which is kind of crazy. We're actually seeing Leica do more damage than a ton of, and I just wanted to copy this formation. We're actually seeing the Awakened version of Leica doing a lot more damage than anybody else, which is kind of crazy to think. But yes, we are seeing the Awakened version of Leica in the formations that I was looking at this morning. The Awakened version of Leica is doing about 15 billion damage, where we have Baden at about 11. Most of the other ones are coming in about 10 to 12. Leica was doing 14, almost 15 billion damage within the Cursed Realm over on the test server, which is higher than the damage that we've ever seen. That's kind of the crazy thing, is that is higher than we have ever seen a hero come in, which again, going back to the power creep feature, like what Michael was saying, that's exactly what it is. It is literally the power creep feature. Let me see backline. This is always just an absolute pain in the butt, guys. Athalia is really good at taking out backline heroes. Or I should have put the original version. The original version you can target, which makes it incredibly easy. Even Iran, guys, if you do the 5 pull, a lot of times you'll get the variation of here as well. But we do have the original version on there as well. Should I E60 Palmer, Nevi, Mulan, or Anasta? That's kind of, yeah, Mulan does work incredibly well. Now, with some of those heroes, like I don't feel like Palmer needs it. Even for my Palmer guys that I have right here, I do not have Palmer at an E60. Mulan absolutely needs it. Anasta and Nevi, both of those are kind of not being used very much anymore, is what we're seeing, Withered. That they are absolutely 100% slowly fading away is kind of what we're seeing in a lot of different formations. I don't think I'm going to worry about this just to get this one chest. What's going on, Night Shiver? Yeah, the power creep, a feature. Power creep's a game. That's it. Do we get 50 time Temple of Time for free? Yes. So on Tuesday, Mito, you will get the 50 for free, just like everybody else. When the hero comes out, they do the release. Now, you've also been picking up some of those time emblems out of everything else that they have going on right now. But now, truly, guys, is the time that you need to be farming the towers. Farm the towers like crazy. I farm them every single day. Most of you know, if you've watched some of the videos, I farm like crazy with the amount that we do in here. Now, stage 11, of course, we have 6 more hours. And look at that. Just Tunic. Thank you for subbing to the channel, guys. That is already 3 new subscribers. Absolutely crazy to see. So much easier with E60 characters now. It's free to play with. Yeah, and that's it, Connor. So again, kind of like we were talking, even looking here at the loot, guys, when you look at the ability to get heroes, the elite stones make it a lot easier getting resources, getting poke coins. But then again, when you look in the entirety, we have the King's Tower, we have the Thrilling Voyage. I mean, this is a crazy, crazy place to get a lot of resources out of. The Temple Rift, again, a game mode we didn't have. Voyage of Wonder on the Peaks of Time, even looking here at farming everything within the Wandering Balloon, the Trials of God. There were so many things in here that we have kind of stacked. And then again, events, we usually seen 1. If you guys remember what's going on, Paco Bear, if you remember, usually it was one. Look at this, guys. Not only do we have the daily events here, but we also have the adventures in here, which we know with the new hero, again, we're going to get a couple more stones. Celestial Hour Isles, we're still making a lot more progression. But literally, to get resources within AFK Arena, it is going higher and higher and more in depth pretty much every single time you play, from getting resources out of here to all of the events, everything that we have going on. It's incredible. To me, it's incredible playing the game for 4 years, how much really comes in there. I 3-manned it with Palmer, Rosaline, and Belinda. That's actually probably a pretty good build. We'll finish this one out just because I don't want to forget about it in here. So what else we got? The 15 billion. Yeah, Leica replaced Baden. No, Leica is actually, so if you know Davis, or David, Baden's in the first formation. Baden is still there within that first formation. Leica is actually in the fourth formation. I believe it was the fourth formation on the test server that we're seeing him built in. So let me do the combination of them. And I'm just wondering if even Palmer, I think I'm just going to run him up front. I don't know if this is the ideal formation, but we'll see. We'll see, because pretty much Belinda's just going to ult and probably kill everybody, which literally one ult just killed everybody. We're going to have to get the RNG factor in here to get this down. Is Naruko good? Yes. Fan of arm wrestling. Naruko is good. Naruko is being used in a lot of different places. Now the big part with Naruko, guys, is Naruko is really strong in a couple different game modes. And of course, Naruko is a tank that has a healing ability, which is the reason why a lot of players use Naruko. In addition to that tanking ability, Naruko has a big healing ability, and Naruko always has and still does have a really big buffing ability and a crowd control ability, guys. When it comes to Naruko, the build of the hero is kind of crazy, just for the simple fact of how the hero was built and how the hero was built themselves. We can try, I think we tried, what do we got? Let's go to the strongest one. There, look at that. Let's try this one, guys. That is funny. So it is Athalia and Zap. Let's drop that. That's a pretty funny formation. Like you said, you were running it with 3. Let's see if we can just run it with 2, and we got our seal in there. We'll get it done. Will Leica be stronger than Belinda? Leica might be on par, might be right around the strength of what we see with Belinda. The big thing with that is Belinda is still going to be used. That's really the same thing. I want more rice. What is going on? Long time since I made a stream. How can I play AFK Arena on PC? Yes, this is through BlueStacks. Guys, there are a lot of emulators that you can actually use to play AFK Arena. I know Nox Player, BlueStacks. There's a few that you can use to play. That you can use to play AFK Arena. I personally like BlueStacks. I've used a couple and never found one that I liked that worked as well as I found here. What's going on, Kareem? I'm still waiting to see the Greatborn awaken before I burn my cards. Yes. So Trisha, I am still on board, and I am still thinking, hoping, praying, whatever you want to call it, that we do see that awakened version of Chimera. That's one absolutely huge thing, guys. The awakened version of Chimera could be coming. Yeah, the higher Palmer stats get, the higher the buff. But again, the buff is capped at a certain point. That's the big thing, Michael. You could put a lot more into Palmer, which is kind of weird because even now with Palmer, it seems like we're not seeing him used a ton of places. I feel like there's going to be a few places where he's kind of dropping out of or slowly kind of moving out of, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, Baden is still in a couple cursed realms, and Leica is in 4, just so what Game said. Yeah, the 60 with Honesta, that was one that we were just talking about, guys. I feel like with Honesta, you've already kind of missed it if you don't have Honesta at 60 already. Because again, it seems like her, as well as unfortunately the awakened version of Baden, seems to be dropping out of a majority of the game modes. That's where we're kind of seeing them, unfortunately, right now. They're being dropped out of a lot of game modes. We're seeing them in the Treasure Scramble, only when it comes to like 6 or 7 teams with Brutus. But again, it seems like they're going to be falling out pretty quick. What's going on, Jordan? I want even more events. So the trade-off with events, guys, more events, more resources. However, more events, more time. That is what a lot of players have been, and I think Lilith the same, as they've been trying to kind of go between more of those, because if AFK Arena is running 15 events over to get resources, they're not an AFK game by any means. If they're running that many events literally back to back to back, there has to be a happy medium. I love when I can come in here, and that's the reason why on the stream I get to talk to you guys, but I also get to complete some of the AFK tasks that I really need to, such as the Misty Valley, which might take 10 or 15 minutes. I like when everything is caught up. That's why I've been pushing a ton, going through and making progression within the Temple Rift. Is if I, for whatever reason, I don't have time during a certain point of the day or during the week, I want to ensure, and I do make sure, guys, that I have everything completely done and I have everything completely completed within AFK Arena. That is really the big part. Have you seen the new Liberta cheese? Yes, Blue Crimson. So there is a Liberta cheese. Unfortunately, the thing that I didn't like, so I tried the Liberta cheese, but I can't do it, Blue Crimson. So when I put 3 heroes in this game mode, I don't have the combat rating. It says I can't do it because of the combat rating. Then I go over to the tower. I can't do it in the tower either because I don't have the combat rating. So I'm falling into that exact same trap in a ton of different places, Blue, is because I don't have the combat rating with the Liberta cheese. So the question, I have Talisman and Wing Lion at 17 and have 4 bags of spice. Who do you take to 18? Out of those ones, either one. So honestly, one more rice. The 3 primary pets, and a big shout out to Trisha for this one, guys. Really, the 3 big pets you want to build is Talisman, the Winged Lion, and you want to build the Seal. We built the Seal. The Seal is already at 18 on my account. The Winged Lion, Talisman are the next 2 that Trisha recommended, which absolutely following Trisha. Trisha knows the game incredibly well. There's a lot of people out there that know the content and know AFK Arena incredibly well, and Trisha is definitely one of them. But like I said, Talisman, the Winged Lion, and the Seal to 18. Honestly, I like Talisman, but the Winged Lion has a lot of utility as well. Yeah, Mulan, I know Mulan can work in there. Try Palmer in the first spot. We'll get a beacon. Like I said, we'll go back and we'll take care of it. I want to get and make a little bit of progression in here, and I know Thorin's going to take a little bit. Love the videos. You helped me so much back when I started and kept coming with the information, entertaining content. Oh, thank you. Artex, thank you. It's awesome, guys. I love content creation. You know what? When I started this years ago, and even having this channel and the finance channel, I have, in my entirety, I have fell in love with the content creation piece. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I seriously, I absolutely love making the videos. And a lot of people ask how I can make so much content. I plan it. I literally plan everything between my phone, between lists. I plan exactly my time to make content for thumbnails, for titles, for recording, everything of that nature. I really do it all together. And again, I plan it. What's going on, Japart? How am I doing? Doing great. I took care of my lawn yesterday, which is awesome. Most of you know I do shopping on Sundays and I do all my lawn work on Sundays because it is a full day that I have off. I use Scarlet. Yeah, and that's what I think I have to do, Kazi. If I put Scarlet in that formation, we can get it done. Again, I feel like it's just going to take a while to get that done. Should I upgrade first Leica or Thalia? Do you mean the original or the Awakened ones? Like I said, guys, with Leica, with any of the Awakened heroes, after we get the information about the new Awakened hero, I wait usually about 7 to 10 days, guys, to build that new hero out, finding exactly where she's going to be used in formations. Overall, on the test server, and again, this is what a lot of players were kind of talking about, over on the test server, Leica is being used all over AFK Arena, guys. I feel like with her being a ranger, her doing damage, but her also bringing a big team dynamic to the formation, it's going to work incredibly well in formations, which is the reason why I'm not, and there we go, guys, Thorn got it done. That's why I'm not hesitating to build her. If it's a difference between like Awakened, Athalia, if it's a difference between Leica, honestly, they're going to be used. Most of them are going to be used. The newer anti-Ozzy is usually the better. So with Leica being the new hero, the power creep, she is much stronger than the awakened version of Athalia. So we'll have to wait and see. So they're looking for Isabella, awakened Isabella instead of Chimera. I still hope that it is Chimera, guys, just for the longevity of AFK Arena and everything that we have done and loved about this game. I want to see Chimera. Any news on AFK Journey? AFK Journey or AFK Journey 2. I think it's AFK Journey. That's its name as of now. I think the 2-piece has actually dropped off, but there's not an official date, Snow. That is totally what we are completely waiting on. I am waiting on an official release date for it. They've been doing some patches. We've seen some updates. There's been a lot of changes, even new heroes within AFK Journey, which is really cool to see. And we just continue to make progression in there, guys. I know if you're starting on the test server, if you're on the test server as of right now, guys, the test server or the beta server, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the beta server. It is going to remain the beta server or the test server. So anything that you do over there is not going to carry over to global. They said that was a really tough decision that they had to do with AFK Journey, but it is not going to move over. Beta is always going to stay beta, which is what we kind of thought in the beginning, but now it is completely confirmed. It is completely confirmed. Combat rating, did it try using 5? I did, but again, as much as I like the cheese is super different, Blue Crimson, when you're putting 5 heroes in there. So it's really kind of crazy. Congratulations on the CL18. Yes, thank you, Kareem. I'm hoping eventually to get all of our beasts up to 18. It's just going to take a long time. I know right now, guys, it is going to take a long time to get, because I mean, you're talking 12 copies from 15 to 18. That is a heck of a beast build. That is a lot of builds. Personally, I do owl or spider before lion. Yeah, kind of went back and forth between them. Like I said, with the owl, with the spider, the lion just has so much utility. All of them are used. So you'll see them in all of the different places, guys. All of them are used in game modes, especially when we have 6 teams. Absolutely, they are going to be used. I have the seal and owl 18 already. That's why next to will be lion and talisman, but 1 first. Yeah, I mean, I would probably do talisman. And the big thing is, guys, the lion has a lot of utility in a bunch of different game modes. Talisman will still be used. There's absolutely no doubt that talisman will be used. For the crowd control aspect, works phenomenal. Is Iran 30 worth it? Honestly, I do like Iran. So when you look at, or Orin, when you look at Orin, you have to build him up if you want him to do damage. Without being built withered, it doesn't work. Orin does not work without being built, guys. You have to build him up, and you have to build him up. You have to build him up in the entirety. Appreciate the work you put in. Much love. Near chapter 40 now, just after 7 months. Just completed Awakened Athalia, my 4th Awakened. Very nice, Samuel. Yeah, guys, on my free-to-play account, we're building our 5th Awakened hero right now. That is where we're at. A lot of players ask how we got there. Again, events and tower farming. It will really be a game-changing difference, guys, when you're going through there and you're going on a regular basis and making all of that progression within the towers. The towers are the biggest place single-handedly to farm cards and farm cards like crazy. I feel Awakened Leica is going to break the game. Yes, that's kind of what I feel, Michael. Again, the Awakened version of Leica is putting out more damage than we've seen from any other hero, but that's it. Got to go back to work. Oh, see you later, Riley. Have a good day at work. I hit rank 12 for the treasure scramble. Might be the highest thus far. Very nice, Beacon. That is awesome. A lot of players were also wondering why I'm scoring so low based on my heroes in the treasure scramble, guys. The treasure scramble has all different regions. So even when you look in comparison to the region that I'm in, is much, much higher and much more difficult competition-wise than you could possibly be in your region. Again, with it being region by region, the competition is different. So if you are a newer player, your competition is going to be entirely different than what I'm finding within my region. What's going on, Honey TL Badger? Thank you for joining us for the stream. I have 1-star Brutus, Solus, Mythic Belinda. I have enough emblems to rush the Awakened version hero to 1 star. Will it be bad to have 2 Wilder Awakened build up? Not really. The big thing you have to remember, guys, is when you're building out these Awakened heroes, always keep in mind, because remember, a majority of the Awakened heroes, guys, Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, what heroes can you build or what heroes can you borrow through the Mercenary, guys? Like every single week, I borrow Trishea. I do not have Trishea built out and you know, an effective level. So every single week, I do buy or I do borrow a built copy of Trishea, because that is the hero that I use in a lot of different game modes. And I rely on other players, because I'm not building out Trishea, but I rely on other players to have that Trishea built that I do use. Can I do a bit about team comps? I would love to see some team comps for PvP campaign that are not just meta. It's some, just a guy I can. The thing with the PvP comps, with a lot of different PvP comps, is they are, look at that, guys. Lucy still just getting it done. Very, very easy. But a lot of the team comps is super, super, super reliant on the heroes you have. So that's where it's kind of hard, because trying to show a little bit of consistency through a lot of different team comps, but also kind of saying where we're going to build them and kind of how we have them. Awaken Leica, Liberta, or Lucy for PvP. Legends Championships are started, going for win 5. Honestly, Liberta, I mean, Liberta is going to be awesome, Ben. So is the Awakened version of Leica. Leica, I feel, is going to be a literal staple in formation. That is tough. I would probably do Liberta before I would do Lucretia or Lucilla. Yeah, Leica and Liberta, I would probably do both. Out of those, again, if you have the cards for Leica, I would do Leica because you have the SP effect, Ben, which is going to be huge. It's going to be huge to have that SP effect within the Outseed tournament. And I feel like all of your competition is going to have it built. So right off the bat, that Awakened version of Leica, you're going to have to compete with them. Are there any other games besides AFK Arena? I've went through a couple different ones through the years. Haven't really found many that I stuck with, and that I stuck with for quite a while. Now I do play AFK Journey. That's another one that I do. That I do as well. What day will Awaken Leica be on the live servers? It is Tuesday. So Monday we'll see the patch notes. So tomorrow will be the patch notes. The Tuesday we'll bring them live. Should I invest my signature 30 on Ivan? I don't believe Ivan needs the 30. I don't believe that Ivan in his entirety needs the plus 30 signature item. Let me take a look at him. I know the 20 on him is really the base. This is decent. While other allied heroes sacrifice out the puppet. So the one that Ivan is working on, and there we go, guys, AFK Pure. Yeah, I mean, I would do the 30 on Ivan. It wouldn't be my first, though. If you're looking the first SI30 line, I would not do Ivan first, because fundamentally, Ivan works without the SI30. I would use it for Damon. If you're early game, guys, Damon is huge. Would I prioritize Lucilla or Liberta? Mo Rice, absolutely Liberta is really the big driving force. Even a lot of game modes only utilize Liberta, where you might not see Lucilla in a lot of those formations. Liberta will be used, and Liberta is used in a majority of those formations. Again, where Lucilla might not be used. What is the Awakened hero priority? As of now, the Awakened version of Belinda is still number 1. Probably looking at either Sophia or Leica, which of course is going to be up on Tuesday. It's going to be a very good choice. The Awakened version of Athalia, very, very strong. Again, a lot of the older heroes, I wouldn't really prioritize as of today, which is pretty tough. But again, looking at the power creep, looking at the progression that we're seeing within AFK Arena and team comps, the older Awakened heroes are not going to be a priority to a point. I have Liberta at Legendary Plus, need the food and the faction hero. Should I do regular summons or Stargaze? As long as you're reanimated, as long as you're getting cards out of your towers, use the tower cards to Stargaze. If you don't have the regular summons, usually at least 12 to 15 of your regular heroes up to that ascended level, that is where you kind of want to move it. Should I swap my E60 Brutus for some other Awakened if we ever get a swap scroll? You could. We could see Honey Badger. We'll have to see when we get one. Been saving card sense before Sophia release. Got 500. Hopefully I can ascend like at release. You should be able to. You should be, if not Connor, with some bad RNG, but overall you should have no problem. You should have no problem with 500 cards getting at least a Mythic Plus, if not Ascended. Again, I've had heroes that have taken 500 cards to actually build them up. I've had heroes that have taken 400 cards. Brutus took 400 cards, and we've also had some. I don't know. I think is Rosaline following the wrong target. But we've also had a few like the Awakened version of Thane that took 700 cards. Which region are you in? 42 is stacked. Let me look at the region. Let me see what region I'm in. And again, we have to make sure that we don't get turned around in this one. That's a good question. Let me see. Oh, we already won. I'm gonna let this run. I'll check it out, Beacon. I'll see. I think I'm in a much lower. I think I'm in a much higher or much lower region. I believe it was like region 16. Because if you're in 42, I think Beacon, I am way lower than where I'm at. Leica gonna dethrone Belinda. So the big thing between the two guys, and again, this is one of the questions for the Q&A that I get a lot. Do I think that Belinda is going to replace Leica or vice versa? Is Leica going to replace Belinda? No, I don't think so. And the reason being, you're going to see them run in different teams. So again, when you look at a lot of different game modes, you're running 7 teams. Again, are they going to be run together? Probably not. Are they going to be run in independent teams? Absolutely. Could she dethrone Leica? Now, the big thing, of course, with Leica is Leica brings a really big team dynamic, which I think a lot of people sometimes miss, is Leica brings a lot of buffs to the team. And look at that, guys. The seal gets it done in that one. I want to look at the damage. So remember, we have an 18 seal. Look at that. 88 billion damage from an 18 seal, guys. Look at the rest of the team. 4.72 billion, 88 billion damage from the seal. Just broke. So it's literally the 6th man on the team that carried the entire team to actually get the victory in there. So it was the seal. Is Leica more important than Solus? I think she will be. So remember, guys, Solus at this point, Kai, is a pretty old Awakened hero at this point. Solus, we're not even seeing used as much anymore. Unfortunately, it seems like there's going to be a point where the hero is not really going to be used anymore. Even looking, so Solus used to be run all the time with Neve. We're not seeing Neve run a lot anymore. We're not seeing Solus run a lot anymore. So again, there's going to be a point that the hero is going to be replaced. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see it quite a bit with a lot of different formations. What do you do for work? For work, guys, most of you know, I am a bank manager. I manage a credit union actually locally here. Been in finance for 16 years, which is why I started the financial channel. I also do financial education and counseling professionally. So certified financial counselor through the state of Michigan, CUNA Mutual, a couple other things that I absolutely love to do, which was the reason and the logic behind making the finance channel. I've been in finance again for an incredible amount of time and been doing finance for most of my life, even personal finance. Personally, when it came to me and my parents, a lot of that was handled by me at a very young age, which is what I love to do. Very passionate about it. I've loved to do it. Awaken Leica's design looks awesome. Yes, absolutely. I love how the Awakened version of Leica, and I thought the bow was a little bit funny. Even if you look over there, guys, on the side, I thought the bow looked a little bit funny, kind of with the cloud aspect of it. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. I like the design. I like the build. Which 30, Amelia, Scarlet, or Rem? Honestly, if you're looking at them, Amelia works incredibly well. Rem, you can do without the SI30. Amelia and Scarlet, Amelia doesn't work without it. Scarlet will. Even if you have Scarlet at a +20 SI, Rem at a +20 SI, they will both work. Amelia does not because of the effect that she has in here. So without Amelia, you don't get the energy effect. This is one of the big reasons with the frozen heroes. So out of those three guys, I would do Amelia for the energy regeneration. You're going to have Scarlet and you're going to have Rem that both work incredibly well in formations, where Amelia doesn't have a lot of utility for the energy generation if you don't. Can Alna be replaced in Grez, Oden, Silas? Alna cannot really. And the reason, Burge, that you cannot replace Alna in the formation is because Alna is what gives the survivability to Grez, giving Grez the ability to scale. If you don't have Alna in there, you're not going to be able to have Grez scale. It's not going to work. Burge, it's not going to work at all. That is the really pivotal part of Alna is, again, you're not going to have Grez. Grez will not be able to scale without Alna in the formation. PvP, Ivan plus Awakened Leica. That could definitely work. Absolutely, Ben. Ivan in the Awakened version of Leica could work and could work incredibly well. Again, we're going to have to see where the damage comes in and how strong Leica comes in, because it's going to be really one of two different things in there. And let me pop in Trish's formation here. Either Leica is going to be used as a support hero in the PvP formations, Ben, or Leica is going to be a team buffer in a already existing comp, where Ivan is going to be in another formation for damage. We're going to have to see. Oh, check the region. Yeah, sorry. Which we'll be able to get this one done. Let me see what region I'm in. I know a lot of players were asking before this is done. We're in region. There's some rewards guides. Is it here? Or is it going to say that everything is over? I'm not even sure exactly where it says. Next season. Or is it just not going to say? Because here's popularities, here's wins. Leaderboard, region 21. There we go. We are 21. Like I said, when you were in 42, yeah, I'm in 21, so I'm a lot lower down in the regions. We are in 21. If you're in 41 or 42, yeah, our regions are significantly lower. So I'm 20 regions ahead of you at that point. Matria awakens Sophia or the new Leica. I would wait, and it'll probably be Leica is what I'm thinking, guys. Sophia is still going to work. Matria does work, but remember, guys, Matria is a little bit of an older hero. Leica is definitely going to work. How do you get the animated frames? The animated frames, guys, come from the heroic ship. So you do 60 days, Ronaldo, from release. You have to build the hero to Ascended is where you do have to build it. Look at this, guys. I think the seal is going to take it down again. Yeah, Zone, the Heroes of Espria, a lot of players are starting to push early. But overall, with your defeats, you don't lose as much as you used to. That's really one of the big adjustments they've made to the Heroes of Espria, is when you get a win, you get a pretty decent points. If you get a delete or if you get a defeat, you don't get it. You're not as far down on the list when you do get that defeat. If you don't have all the meta heroes in your formation, you're going to fall flat on your face. Yeah, Michael, it takes a lot for the PvP aspect, guys. It takes a lot to push, and you don't have to have all the meta heroes. When it comes to multiple teams, there's a lot of different game modes, a lot of different ways to play it. A lot of it, you have to put a lot of more time and effort into it, Michael. And that's one of the things. So even on my free-to-play account, when I look at the Temple Rift, when I look at the Heroes of Espria, I have to really, really pick and choose my battles when it comes to those game modes, because it's very, very difficult to win, where a lot of larger accounts, it's a lot easier to make progression through, but a lot of them, it is difficult to go through just because of the builds that we have and the heroes that we have. Should we then build the Awakened version of Solus out of the Twisted Realm store? You can, G-Star. I mean, the Awakened version of Solus still does work well. Solus and Brutus in there. Brutus, again, has quite a bit less utility if you're not talking about the tower. I would probably prioritize Solus in there. And there we go, guys. Thorn gets it done. I would prioritize Solus out of there. Once you have Solus Ascended, I would look at Brutus and then kind of go from there. Athalia or Matria, I would go for Athalia. Out of those two, Matria, of course, being run with a lot of different heroes, but Athalia still does have a lot of utility. Sam, I'm gonna do an awakened tier list tonight, just because, again, these are questions that I've gotten for an incredible amount of time. I'm in financing as well. I do auto financing. Yeah, we do everything. We do auto, we do home, we do mortgages, we do business, we do everything. That's what I do in my line of work, Michael. Me, a team at the credit union, we cover pretty much everything. Who is better, Liberta or Demia? Liberta damage-wise, that 1-3 guy, or that one guy, Liberta does incredibly well. Demia, you have to have built as well. So as far as better, both of those heroes are in kind of the S+ tier. So it's going to take, it's going to take a little bit of time. But both of them, again, both of them are going to do well, guys. 52-17. We knew we were going to make some progression in here, guys, and we are. I'm super stoked to be kind of pushing through here while we can answer some questions in here. It's been a long time since we had a shop refresh. Yeah, it's been a long time since the shop refresh. I already fully built Awakened Belinda, so do I need to build Scarlet? There's a couple random places, Calvin, that you might need Scarlet. Now, my recommendation at that point is I would just borrow Scarlet. With the amount of players that you're going to find on your friends list that do have Scarlet built, you're going to be able to borrow Scarlet for possibly the one-off formations. You're going to be able to borrow Scarlet. What is my real name without being impolite? My name's Dennis. Most of you know if you've been playing for a while, if you've contacted me, my name is Dennis, just like Dennis the Menace. That's what I was called growing up. But yeah, that is my real name. How should I build up Lucilla? Lucilla is one that has to be built, guys. If you go look at the shorts, Ronaldo, I have shorts for all of the heroes. So looking at a lot of different game modes, looking at a lot of different places, there's kind of a minimum build where Lucilla will work well, an optimal build, which I only build the heroes to the optimal build. That is really where I stop in a majority of game modes. And there's also a whale build in there. Again, if you just kind of view through the shorts, I don't do a ton of shorts, but I've done, I believe, almost probably 80% of the heroes up to this point with the short builds in there, which they don't really change. Most of the short builds don't really change, so you can absolutely use those to build them out. Yes, Ben, I love it. Ben said PvP is a bastard mode, especially when you're up against whales. That is PvP. I know as much as I don't like it in a lot of different game modes, guys, PvP, and this has been literally, and I'm sure Ben knows this, but literally every single game that I have played with a PvP aspect, it is dominated by whales, period. That is it. The PvP has always literally been dominated by a majority of the really big spenders, even going back to World of Warcraft, where people would buy stuff illegally in the game. Most of the whales, most of the people that dominated a majority of the content put a lot of money into the game itself. I'm almost finished building Awakened Belinda. I just need one more copy. I just wanted to ask, what Awakened hero should I build next? The Awakened version of Leica, we might see Trayvon, or the Awakened version of Sophia, still working incredibly well. Athalia works incredibly well. There's a couple ones. I would give it about a week. Like I said, I'm going to put together a list a little bit later today, but I would give it about a week, see exactly where Leica is going to fall into, and then kind of go from there. How do I know where to put my heroes? Well, depending on the heroes that you have is going to be the big differentiator within formations to where you're putting them. A majority a majority of you'll run one damage dealer, you'll run some support, possibly some tanks, possibly some crowd control. But for most formations, you're running one and only one damage dealer. That's really... I got Mythic Plus Demian Chapter 16, reached 22 in 3 days. Yes, guys, Demia still will work incredibly well within formations. Demia, again, as a buffer, as a damage dealer, still going to be used in a ton of different places. My first live, hello as well. Tywarb 51, big shout out, guys. You are in the live stream. I know a lot of people come in here and they just ask questions. not knowing it's a live stream. Yes, it is live, guys. We do lives every Sunday, which the schedule might change a little bit. My daughter does have volleyball. My son does have football. So we'll have to see as we start this new school year on the timing. Still going to do the streams, just might adjust the time just a little bit. Do you think it's getting more difficult for light spenders to be on top? Yes, absolutely. Again, as the game starts and continues to grow, light spenders, and it depends how light you're kind of saying. For me personally, I keep it around $100 a month. That is kind of my cap. Some months I might do 120, some months, might kind of vary depending what we have on, but that's what I budget for. I budget for 100 a month. Just based on that, we keep it right around 120 a month on what we're spending. And again, light spender, that's what I consider is a light spender. We're slowly staying kind of exactly where we are, I guess. When you look at the game mode, 10 to 20% is roughly where we're saying. I always borrow Belinda since everyone has a bill. Yeah, and that's it, Trisha. So if you can borrow the hero every single time, it'll work well. Do I think the Awakened version of Leica will be a safe bet? Yes, I do. The big reason, Paragon, is because the Awakened version of Leica really brings two things. Number one, the Awakened version of Belinda is bringing a lot of damage in formations. Over on the test server, you're seeing a significant amount of damage. Two, she's bringing energy regeneration and a lot of buffs. That is the other really big thing, guys, is they almost have the Awakened version of Leica built as a support hero that falls in the Ranger class because of everything that she does have built. She is absolutely going to be used in formations, and we're seeing her in formations right now on the test server. I have 5 good Temple Rift teams, but I don't know what should be against which teams, Rem teams, Awakened Brutus. So those, it depends who you're fighting. That's one of the big ones. So a couple of the most difficult teams that you fight in the Temple Rift, Hisam, is when it comes to Isabella. Isabella is an absolute nightmare within the Temple Rift. We're also seeing the exact same with not Sophia. I'm drawing a blank on her name. It's the caster for the mages, or excuse me, for the maulers right here. And again, drawing a blank. Ty Lee in when you fight Ty Lee inside of the Temple Rift, Ty Lee is a nightmare to fight within the game mode, and we're seeing the same with a couple different heroes. That it's literally just such a very, very difficult team to fight that you have to put in a lot more of your support heroes in those formations. If not, you're just going to get decimated, guys. And that's exactly what is happening. Yeah, not the whales, it's the Krakens. Yeah, the Krakens are the scary ones, guys. Again, when you look at it, it's going to be a ton of money. We'll always win the PvP aspect. Heroes of Espria, the exact same, guys. It is going to be the one. Have you done a short on Walker? I don't remember, Kazi. I don't think I did. So what I did for the shorts, if you guys check them out, I did pretty much everybody from probably about the C tier and higher is what I kind of focused on. So really going C tier or higher, started at the S plus, kind of worked down. And then I've been doing the updated shorts as the new heroes are coming out. So as we're seeing more heroes released, we've just been kind of updating the shorts through a little bit at a time as the heroes have been coming up. Almost got them done right there. Does Lilith often do hero swaps? Not really. I think we've seen like 3 or 4 at this point. What's going on, Pull the Trigger? Thanks for joining us. Why no pet? So pets sometimes in here can throw off the formations. In here, you can run the Grassy Orb. Now with the Grassy Orb or with any pet, sometimes if a pet kills the target versus Thorin taking more damage, it doesn't work. Also, sometimes if the pet offers additional defense, again, sometimes it doesn't work. It's very consistent with, there we go, guys. The pet worked the first time, just random RNG. Hello, am I building Leica? Yes, Apollinaire, I am absolutely building Leica. It's a hero that brings a lot of damage, brings a lot of buffs, brings a solid SP effect. I don't see any reason that we wouldn't build Leica just because the build Leica is strong. Guys, Leica is being used, again, over on the test server. Leica is being used everywhere. Are you usually streaming because I came in the zone, right? It's 1 a.m. Yes, Damas. I usually stream every single week at 1 p.m. on Sundays. This is the normal stream time. Like I said, it could vary kind of here and there. This is usually all of the stream time. What's going on, Kookie? How are you? Hope you're having a great weekend. Yep, always having a great weekend. Do you have any tips for defeating the Fatal on PvP? It makes my winner build useless without the energy debuff. So tank, there's not there's not a way. So essentially, if you look big picture of the PvP aspect, it's teams that counter teams, and you'll find this through a lot of the content, guys. Is there are specific heroes and specific hero teams that counter other teams, which is again kind of the build, kind of the reason why one team will always dominate another team. If you're using, let's say, 7 meta teams, some of the meta teams will defeat other meta teams and vice versa. It is the way that AFK Arena is built, and it's the way that the game will always go. There's not one single team that is going to essentially counter every other single team. It's not the way that it works. It's not the way that AFK Arena is built. There's always going to be teams that counter other teams. Any idea when Rem and Amelia might be available? I would probably say within about a month. That would be kind of the usually it's 5 to 6 months after release that we see the awakened heroes, or excuse me, the dimensional heroes go into the garrison. So it should be 5 to 6 months is normal. So once Rem and Amelia came out, it starts clicking or starts ticking the 5 or 6 month timer before we do see them. It takes a while. Are you doing more hero build guides for the older heroes? I might not, Phantom, and the big reason with some of the older heroes, or pretty much all of the older heroes, I wouldn't build. I wouldn't invest in them at all. I mean, short of possibly doing, let's say, like a plus 20 signature item, I would not invest in the older heroes at all, even for tower progression. And I didn't even notice Tarnos was in here, guys. I've still never built Tarnos. We've talked about it, I know, probably 12,000 times. But again, Tarnos is one that I have never built, and I probably will not build. So Tarnos, unfortunately, is not going to be built. I'm in chapter 29, free to play. Damon and Ivan already at 1 star. My Demia is only legendary plus. Should I save my engraving or use it on Demia or Ivan? The engraving, I would go, honestly, I would probably save it for Demia. The big thing is Damon will work with the engraving. Does he really need it? Not really. Ivan, the only thing you need in there, Kookie, is if you're looking at Ivan, it just adds a 3-second crowd control to Ivan. So again, not going to be the absolute biggest game changer when it comes to Ivan. Demia works incredibly well having the engraving on there. I would probably save it for that because again, Damon will work without it. Ivan will work without it. You're just getting there. Someone reached level 900 in less than 2 months. Crazy money. Yeah. So we had a member, if you guys remember, years ago when Casuals was a huge guild, we were #1 in the Abyssal Expedition for, I think, 3 or 4 seasons. We had a player in there that went in and wanted to see how fast they could build an account. David, they did the exact same thing. So he went in there and he bought everything. So literally he came into AFK Arena, which it's kind of a funny story at this point. But he went into AFK Arena and he bought everything. So when you're going through, and looking at everything that is offered, everything in the shop he bought, every single pack that came up, every single thing that came up, he bought. He, of course, shot to #1 in every single game mode. Even when it came to the PvP side of it, he was literally #1 in every single game mode. Even on the leaderboards, he was #1 when it came to the Twisted Realm, Nightmare Corridor. We didn't have Nightmare Corridor, it was the Cursed Realm. At that point, he was #1, again, just based on the build, based on what he did. Insane money. He said he was spending like $10,000 to $12,000 a week on AFK Arena, which is just absolute insane money. But if you want to drop $10,000 to $12,000 in AFK Arena a week, you can. And again, it's just absolutely bonkers with the amount that they were putting out. Been playing the game for 4 months. Please settle this for me. Thorin or Grez in my lineup. So overall, Ronnie, I would go with Grez. So Thorin is not a normal hero. I mean, if Thorin is a hero that can delay a lot of the teams. Grez is one you have to scale. So with that being said, Grez is usually run in Ulna Grez. The reason is Ulna is going to give Grez the time to scale. If you're running Grez just in a regular lineup, Ronnie, you're not going to see the utility there. It's probably not going to work very well because Grez has to have time to scale. If Grez does not have time to scale, he's useless. He will die if he doesn't get his skeletal minions up. Where Thorin really just buys time, as you can see right in here. Thorin will buy time within team comps, which is the reason why other players do. So again, running Grez in a regular formation doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. Boss mode's a little bit different, but regular lineup, regular formation, you have to. You wiped your Thorin win. Oh, I wiped the Thorin win. Wasn't even paying attention in there. And again, guys, this just gives me the ability to talk to you guys. I love being able to chat with you guys. I love the Q&A that we do. That's why I do this so often, is because I'm able to sit here and actually talk to you about the game, which is awesome. What's going on, JJP? Who is Awakened Leica being used with? Awakened Leica is being used as a damage dealer herself. So that is what we're seeing right now, again, in the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor. Awakened Leica is doing almost 15 billion damage on the test server, which is just crazy. I'm thinking if I skip and wait for the next one, I have Awakened Thane though, don't know what to do. Depending, Apollonier, on how many emblems you get, you could wait. I mean, if you're not sitting on probably 400 to 500 emblems, I would probably wait till you almost get to that point, because if you're building them very, very slowly, sometimes the chances are by the time you build the hero, you're not going to see a ton of utility at that point. So again, you could save them, but if you're building one out, just build them. That's why PvP is crazy. 8 meta teams. Yes, Ben, that's the problem. When you look and you're building out 8 meta teams, that's the reason why I did my engraving. If you guys seen the video, I actually did the engraving for Flora, is because when you're making 8 teams, Flora is crazy. What do you spend to get dimensional stones? Honestly, I would spend the guild coins. If you're doing the garrison shop, guys, I would spend the guild coins. Gear doesn't have quite the impact that we've seen before. I would definitely wait. Any dimensional news? Not at this time of year. At this time, unfortunately, there is not any new dimensional news. Even the news that we have going on right now with Dolly, players are saying that is going to be the new Lightbearer. So we're waiting to see exactly if that is going to be the new Lightbearer. That talks about, I think it's something about a ship. But again, players are saying that that is going to be the new Lightbearer hero that we're seeing, since it's been a long time since we've actually seen Guineas. And there we go, guys. So 1 gifted membership. I did not want to forget this. We do this every time. And it goes to Trisha. Congratulations, Trisha, on the gifting membership. Again, something I love doing to give back to you guys every single time that we do. So congratulations on there. If I have Awakened Brutus, Solus, and Belinda, what is my next Awaken? I would wait and see where Leica comes in. Leica is going to be huge, guys, which she is being huge. The Awakened version of Sophia is very, very strong as well as a performance hero, is working incredibly well because of the buffs and everything else that she brings. There's a lot in there. What's going on, Alfred Us? And Peter is here as well. I'm in chapter 10. I have a question regarding the garrison. Should I already use it or wait? I would wait. I would absolutely wait, Will, is because if you're pumping all of your resources into the garrison, you really don't have to. Focus on building out. If you're in chapter 10, focus on Damon and focus all of your resources on building out Damon. It's going to work really well. Damon will actually carry you about the first 30 chapters, which is kind of crazy to think, but Damon will carry about the first 30 chapters. Get some crowd control around him, get some support around him, and that is going to be very, very easy to do when it comes to the build. And look at that. What is going on, Ben, with the Hippo Victory Super Chat? Very, very cool to see the Hippo, guys. Most of you know I love hippos. I even have Howie here, guys. Howie is my little hippo that we actually picked up. My kids bought him at the Toledo Zoo for me. Howie the Hippo. Going back 20 plus years now at that point, kind of crazy, but it has always been hippos. We had hippos at the Detroit Zoo here, which was very, very cool to see. Shamira or Oden, let me know in the comments, guys. Are you thinking, is it going to be Shamira? Is it going to be Oden? I want to know what your consensus is. For me, most of you are well aware, guys, I am going all in for Shamira. Shamira is what I am saving for. Shamira is going to be the one that I am, fingers crossed. I am ready. So ready for Awaken Leica. That is right. Awaken Leica, guys, is going to change the meta. Again, look, I know Mulan in here. Mulan, of course, in this formation becomes untargetable. That is really the big thing, guys, is if Mulan does not die early, which right there she did, it's very, very tough because, again, Mulan is hard to kill because she becomes untargetable with the ultimate ability. So I see an Isabella. Oh, Isabella was in there too. What's going on, Alex? What was the other question? I think I seen another question there. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Trisha. It seems like Mulan is a little bit too strong in here, which again, guys, we made it to 5220, so a third of the way through chapter 52, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's just stacking our diamonds on there. Then, of course, we'll go back and we'll finish this in a little bit. Still got some shopping to do this afternoon. I think my kids are on the way back from football right now, so it is awesome. Is a level 80 world tree with level 50 on each faction bad? There is no bad, Phantom. Honestly, the more time and effort that you put into AFK Arena, a lot of times you're going to get a bigger return. You're going to farm more cards. You're going to make more progression in everything. That is really one of the big things. Which game mode do I enjoy the most in AFK Arena? There's a couple. I do like the Voyage of Wonders. Out of there, Kookie, I would say the Voyage of Wonders and the Peaks of Time right in here, like the Wandering Balloon. These are probably one of my favorites because this is more of a traditional game mode experience where you kind of walk around and all of that. Least favorite probably being the campaign, but I do love the King's Tower as well. This is a part, again, that we have farmed a lot of these to literally the cap. And I know a lot of them are almost closer, which I believe this goes to 1080. I think it's 1080 at this point. But you'll notice, guys, all of these towers, 7 floors there, made a tower floor here. All of these towers, I push every day. I push every single day. What do you think is the best first epic pet? First epic pet, when you're looking in here, and I believe you mean these ones versus, or the epic pets, the seal. The Slumbering Seal is kind of the broken one in there. Hey, it's John. The Slumbering Seal, of course, the first one that I got to 18. Slumbering Seal is broken, guys. This is absolutely the broken pet that we have in AFK Arena. It is the number one damage dealer. It is the 6th person in there. Hippos are definitely the king of the jungle. Yeah, hippos are absolutely crazy. Can you make a team regarding which Awakened hero works with? Yeah, I can definitely, Phantom. We'll put something out. Can't be Odin. Yeah, I know. I'm still slacking in 49. Ben, you are slacking. Ben dominates the PvP, has won the LC tournament, guys. I'm not even remotely close. So when I come in here, did not qualify. When I come in here, most of the time I can qualify for the first round. But look at this, guys. 198, so capped Elder Tree every single part. Most of the heroes are 60 plus, possibly 80, possibly some of these up to 100. When I look at the competition in my LC tournament, I can't compete. Even at my level, guys, it is impossible to compete, period. It's literally impossible. It is kind of crazy, the competition that we have in here, because again, it's impossible to compete with my level, with where I'm at. I can't. Let me pop open some of these stones, guys. Maybe we'll get a hero, maybe a Celestial or Hypogen, which it is not, just a lot more food. Then I could wait for Leica, but we get a copy of Orin, which again is just going to be food. I'm recycling heroes in the Tower of Ascension like crazy, but that's okay, guys, because with the recycling, we are getting more power levels to the Elder Tree, which we continue our progression in there. Watch your guide on the Wandering Balloon every time a new account, like 2 years ago. Yeah, exactly, Kookie. So from when I started the account, guys, of course, we started at 1 subscriber. Right now, we are at 34,000 plus. 34,000. I'm looking 34,620 on my phone, which is incredible. Incredible, guys. We're coming up on 35,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, which is crazy. The other channel's at 481 this morning. So again, just like we grew this channel, we're growing the finance channel as well. 481 already over there. Know a lot of you are subbed over there, but it is awesome to see the growth. I've also set up Instagram and TikTok and the YouTube for the finance channel. So we're going all in on that one, which is going to be awesome to see exactly where it's been. It's been a long time since I touched AFK Arena. Check it out. AFK Arena has changed incredibly. It's kind of crazy how much it has changed, guys, throughout the year. Well, guys, thank you guys for joining me on this Sunday stream. Definitely wanted to do the Q&A. Again, I got an absolute ton of questions, of course, when it comes to Leica, which is the reason why I did want to cover it. I'm going to do the short for Leica for the minimal, the optimal, and the whale build for Leica. Also, I'm going to do the awakened tier list. I'm going to go ahead and put her high in there for the simple fact that she does work incredibly well. Palmer, Mulan, or Liberta at 60. Put Liberta. Guys, now Liberta, of course, is one hero that is best in slot in a lot of different game modes. The 60 in here is going to bring the stats, but this is huge. Guys, for this to be a passive ability with the Punishing Orb and the Blessing Orb, you want to build Liberta out to 60, and if you want to maximize the damage that he's doing, the utility that the hero is having, absolutely build out Liberta. Liberta is the very good choice. Prize didn't hold faction cards for the event. For the corner, we need to get elite summons of Greeborn Mauler. I'm not worried about it because how many we get, Trisha? So overall, when it comes to building out the heroes, guys, even when it comes to our rare stones, I do an incredible amount of summons. Even the summons here, guys, I saved all of my summons in here, 67,000 diamonds. Even right here, we have 148 cards. Then we're at 321, pulled the diamonds right there. Good job, Kika. 30,000 diamonds right there, but we're at 321. We're going to get all of the free cards when it comes to Leica coming out. So we're going to have 400 plus, which is the sweet spot, guys. 400 to 500 is where we want to be when it comes up to the cards. And based on the build, we're going to get there, guys, with the new Voyage of Wonder, which is going to give us 10 cards. Even looking in here, the Shining Horizon, we get some cards out of here. There's another 10 cards right here. Out of here, I believe it's 3, 6. I believe we get 12 out of here. 50 for the hero, 10 out of the Lost Star, and then everything else we have going on. Again, it is just the accumulation of building up those cards. If we got to pay for or buy a couple more, I absolutely will to pick them up, guys. The pay-to-win account, this used to be the old pay-to-win account, and look at that. It is John, another brand new member. Thank you for supporting the channel, John. It is very cool to see. But again, guys, that is going to do it for our live stream for Sunday. Making some more progression. It is on you now, Mickey. I don't think he ever joined us, but Mickey is now a little bit behind us. We've been going back and forth with progression. And of course, Ben, you as well. You got to start making some more progression in there, especially pushing to 41. I think you said you were in 39, but being in chapter 39, you're going to miss the rewards from the Misty Valley. So push and push out there. I needed 690 cards for Matria. Yes. Paragon, the exact same. I used, I think it was 704 for Thane. So Thane took me 700 plus cards, guys, which was just absolute insanity to build him out. But it was 700 plus cards. And I'm hoping that's not the same case for Leica, but it definitely could be. But again, guys, that'll do it for our Sunday stream. And as always, thank you guys for watching.